Hello fellow bike people! I've been having a ton of fun doing this little series about buying used bikes. Now I know I've been doing the Project Used Bikes videos for a while, but those are specifically for the non-profit work now. This is just talking about good examples for buying used bikes right now during the bike shortage. One thing I was thinking about is BMX. At CyclePath we're getting loads of people asking for BMX bikes, but there's nothing available from any of the distributors. And I know a lot of the other local shops deal with different brands of BMX bikes, and they occasionally have some in stock, but for the most part, they're in the same situation. There are almost no BMX bikes available new right now. And even on the used market, there's a lot of people who are really jacking the prices up just because of the bike shortage, and they can get away with it. I've seen Walmart level bikes that retailed for $100, if that, being sold for $300. I think it's getting out of hand. But that said, if you check Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, Letgo, Craigslist, whatever your local classifieds are, with a bit of patience you can find some really good deals. This bike is a perfect example. So, it's about 10 years old, maybe 11 or 12. This is a Haro X3. If I'm not mistaken, it was 2012 when they changed the naming structure of their lineup, and then again in 2015 or 16, I think. But compared to the modern lineup, the Haro X3 would be in roughly the same place as the Haro Midway. So that means when it was new, it was roughly a $500 or $600 bike. Now on a normal year when there isn't a bike shortage, bikes like this tend to go for around $150 or so. Right now they can be a little bit more than that, and it'll still be a reasonably good deal. I paid $180 for this bike, and then I spent a little bit more money getting it fixed up. So let's say you're in the market for a BMX bike right now, and your local shop has nothing available. If you go on the used market, you can find something like this that's a little bit older, and by spending the difference in what you would spend for a new bike, you can buy some upgrades that really make this thing not quite as high-end as a modern bike, but pretty comparable. So looking closer at the bike, it's got some custom parts on it, but a lot of it is original. That looks to be the original crank, sprocket, and chain on there. The fork appears to be original. The stem and handlebar I don't believe are original components, but they're pretty much comparable. 10 years ago when bikes like this were sold, they didn't come with very high-end bars or stems, so I feel like these basic replacements are pretty much the same as what was on there originally. The front wheel is not original, that's off a Miraco, and that back wheel is not original either. It has a Mission hub, which would tell me that it's from a kink. Now in terms of upgrades, I put these We The People tires on it, which are a little bit older, but they're still a modern design and they're a really nice tire. And I added these pegs that I already had sitting around. These are old Odyssey pegs, and buying new pegs like this, you're looking roughly $20 to $30 per peg. The other thing I added was the brakes. While a lot of modern BMX bikes are completely brakeless, this one had the ability to mount the front and rear brakes, so I figured why not, let's give it a try. With the 4 pegs and both brakes and the slightly higher seat, this would be referred to as a full freestyle setup. So good for doing like old 80s style tricks with like the bouncing around on the brakes, that style of thing. Now looking at the frame itself, here's one of the features that you really should look for if you're trying to buy yourself a used BMX. This is an integrated headset, and you can see how it's all machined into the head tube. There's no separation where the bearing's little bulge is. On the more basic bikes, you can see it's a separate piece that's press fit into the frame. If the whole frame is one nice smooth piece like this that's all machined together, that's an indicator of a higher quality bike. A lot of higher quality bikes will also have these, which are removable gyro tabs, these 2 holes right here. Those allow you to mount the splitter for the cables that lets you rotate the bars 360 degrees. And this is the other feature that you should look for on a good quality BMX bike. This is called a mid-bottom bracket. The bearings press fit into the frame here, and they're a sealed bearing type, so they are as close to maintenance-free and indestructible as bearings come. With more basic bikes, instead of seeing a smooth dust cover there, you're going to see a tool flat, somewhere to put a really big wrench. That's an indicator of loose ball bearings and an American-style bottom bracket, which is not as good as this mid-style. So those are the main things to look for. My last tip when it comes to buying a used BMX is to look at what your local bike shop sells. Look at the brands they carry and look at the models available from those brands. Just so you get an idea of what's at the low end, what's at the high end. Once you know what your local bike shop carries, you should look for those brands because they're generally a lot better quality than a mail order bike or something from a department store. In this case, this is a Haro, which is one of the oldest brands out there, and as much as some of the bikes were not so great back in the day, that was mostly a product of its time, not so much a reflection on Haro themselves. Anything more recent like this or anything newer from Haro is going to be great quality. Another brand we sell is Fit Bike Company, which is amazing. They're a really well-established company, they make really good quality products, and a lot of them are made in the USA by S&M, so really nice products from Fit. Personally, one of my favorite brands is We The People. I don't own one of their bikes right now, but they're a German brand and they make amazing quality products. Another one to look for, if you are Canadian like me, look for McNeil. They're a Toronto-based brand and they're really the only major big-scale Canadian BMX company. So it's great to represent their products. It would be better if you could buy the products new, so you're actually supporting them, but still great to represent McNeil products. So I hope this video was useful, and if it helped, leave a comment down below and let me know what kind of bike you got, because I'm really curious to see what's out there right now.